Okay, hello YouTube. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so today we are going to speak about some prayers that we're going to be doing. I just did one on Facebook, and now we're going to do one on YouTube. And today, I hope the volume is up. Yeah, it is. Today, we're going to be talking about cosmic shift, changing timelines. We want total healing and recovery for everything that was lost. We want a full, long, happy, financially prosperous life with good people in our lives. We want the restoration of things that are rightfully ours, which whether it's homes, it's relationships, it's business deals, it's let's say you're going to school, education wise. Hold on. Let's see. We want protections. We're asking for new laws, and we are also asking for money to get things done because in this world you can't get anything done without money, right? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we want a shift. Too many people are in a negative paradigm or negative mindsets, negative relationships, negative dealings, negative environment. They're not succeeding, perhaps they're not succeeding in terms of education. They're not succeeding in terms of where they should be. So we're asking for a cosmic shift from a negative timeline, negative, demonic, evil, however you choose to identify that, to a positive timeline, which is prosperous, breakthrough, health wise, financially, educationally, home, whether you're making a new purchase to get a home, to get a car, to start a business, to complete your education, whatever it is, or in terms of health, because maybe perhaps you're in a negative slump because of expenses for health reasons, right? So we are asking for a cosmic shift from a negative timeline to a positive timeline, um, so that we would destroy this negative timeline and we would bring in a positive timeline. We are asking for total healing, whether your healing encompasses any type of illness, sickness, whether it be technological, whether it be biological, genetics, whatever type of ailment that a person is going through, that to be shifted to total, absolute healing and homeostasis of the body. And sometimes it may just require, sometimes healing can come by changing relationships, having the right people in your life. Okay, healing can be as simple as getting the right people in your life, getting rid of the wrong people in your life, a change in environment. Maybe you're not in the right place, maybe you're not around the right people. Okay, sometimes it's like sometimes the exercise, you have to do these things, right? Okay, and we're asking for recovery. Okay, recovery. So let's say you're in a health slump, we're asking for recovery. We want you to recover whatever you've lost, whether it's health wise, whether it's whatever type of illness, whatever type of ailment. We are asking for recovery in your health and all things pertaining to health. And we're asking for answers, 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 answers. What caused this? Okay, so that it cannot be done again. Okay, it's important to know not just to be healed of something, not just to have a positive timeline, but knowing is the key, not believing. It's knowing what caused it. And we want to know what caused you to be put into a negative timeline so that you can get rid of it and you can have the true timeline that is rightfully yours. Okay, we're also asking for long, full, happy, healthy, prosperous lives. Okay, because it is your right. It is not right that some people get to enjoy wealth, happiness, health, and prosperity, and you, who are a divine being, must suffer. You being a divine being, you must live on this planet, suffering for something you didn't do and have no recourse. That's not right. Okay, so we're asking for long, full, healthy, happy, prosperous, financially prosperous lives, because more and more in this world you cannot live without money, and money is the root of all evil. But also money, in the kind of world that we live in, is also the root of a lot of happiness and the root of a lot of misery. So financial prosperity, it is not right that some people get to enjoy financial prosperity and some people don't. That is not right. If you are a divine being, you have the right to financial prosperity. Okay, so we're asking for that. We're asking for homes. Some people, they want homes, they want to be able to live in their own home, and they have a right to have their own home. The earth is big enough, there is enough wealth in this world for everyone to have their own home. Okay, sorry about that. I'm like slumping and I have to stop slumping. Right? So we're asking for everyone who wants to have their own home to have their own home. All their cars, all their debts and liabilities are paid, right? So we're asking for finances to cover all debts or liabilities. It is not right that some people get to generate all the wealth and then some people are just like a ham on a treadmill or a pinwheel or whatever you call it, and they're just going round and round and round in circles, and they never get to enjoy what other people easily get to enjoy. That's not right. Okay, so we're asking for that, and we are demanding that. Okay, we are demanding that. We're not just asking for it, we're demanding it. Okay, it is not right that some people get to some people put the labor and receive all the benefits from it, and then you have another person who's doing the same thing, putting the same amount of energy, and not seeing the fruit from it. That's not right. So we are asking for these things. Whatever you put into the universe, you get the equal amount of it back. Okay, as long as it is good, as long as it doesn't harm someone, as long as it is beneficial to yourself and others. This is not evil. Okay, we're asking for those of us who want homes, those of us who maybe need a new car, those of us who maybe need debts paid, or bills paid, or taxes paid, or to pay for education to better themselves, or whatever it is. We are asking the universe to provide these things, and sometimes we just need it to be done supernaturally. That the doors would open, that the right avenue, you would meet the right person who will tell you, hey, have you tried applying for this? Do you know you can get this if you apply for this? Sometimes it's just meeting the right person who knows what well you need to dig, right, to get the water that you need, right? So sometimes we're asking for divine timing and divine positioning, where you would be at the right place at the right time to meet the right person to give you the right information, right? So we're asking for these things so that way you can accomplish what you need to accomplish. We're asking for protection, okay, because there's a lot of negativity out there, a lot of negativity. And one of the negativities that I keep, when I speak to people, one of the negativities that a lot of people, that hinders a lot of people, that also changes their timeline, is something as simple as jealousy and envy. Okay, something as simple as that can cause a person's timeline to be totally changed, altered, or even destroyed or shortened, right? So we're asking for protection for the first thing, from the first two things, jealousy and envy, or as the people in the East call it, the evil eye. You know how they say, los ojos es la ventana del alma, the eyes are the window of the soul, and the eyes are also where the things like envy and jealousy come from, So we're asking for protection from these two things, and then we're asking for protection from things like plots, traps, schemes, snares, intentions. Okay, sometimes people will not necessarily say they want to harm you, but they will intend it or they will it. We're asking for protection from intents and wills, okay? And what we want is we want your divine will to supersede any negative, evil will, right? We're asking for laws to be changed. For example, let's say you find yourself, illegally implanted. Okay. One of the things I've discovered is that the local police department does not have jurisdiction if a person goes there and they say to the police, look, someone implanted me with an RFID tag. Okay, and this is what they're doing to my life. Because there are no laws on the books for police, there are medical laws on the books, there are international laws on the books regarding this, but with regards to the average police officer, there are no laws when a person goes into a police department and say, look, I have been illegally implanted. They can't necessarily investigate. It's up to the federal government to do that, right? So we're asking for laws to be changed so that police will become aware of this new type of crime, and police will be given the jurisdiction to go out and investigate and to arrest so that the district attorney can begin prosecuting. Okay, so these are laws that we're asking for to be put on the books. Asking for anyone who's ever been humiliated, slandered. This is a big thing, with regards to, cell phone cameras, people not having discretion with their cell phone cameras. We are asking for things like slander and character assassination to be dealt with, and the person would be given the correct respect that they are due in public by people. And we are asking for the correct identity of the person to be reinstated. Let me give you an example. On United Airlines, the recent debacle on United Airlines, a doctor was thoroughly abused on the airline. And what occurred was that the airline, United Airlines, decided to do an investigation into a person with his last name. The last name was DOC, which was a very common last name because I think he was Vietnamese or something like that. They found someone with a similar name who had a criminal record and proceeded to slander the doctor, thinking it was the doctor, saying this person has a criminal record and therefore, we were justified in thoroughly abusing this person who paid for their ticket and didn't want to get off the flight. And then they slandered him. And then it turned out that because of the similarities in this person's name, who is a doctor and comes from a family of doctors, and to this one guy who lives about 60 miles away, who had a criminal record, the airlines basically assumed that this doctor with the exact similar name, except for two names that were slightly different, was the criminal. Therefore, they were justified in abusing this person. Okay, things like this happen, people. So we're asking for all slander campaigns to be dealt with and people to get restoration for abuses done. Okay, we're also asking for protections from any type of slander campaign, because I can tell you, slander campaigns are not something easy to deal with. But if you find yourself in a slander campaign, okay, this is one of the tactics I learned, and it will help you. Because one of the things of the slander campaign is that they spread it it spreads like lightning. People don't do their homework. They just believe everything that's told to them. So one of the things you do with the slander campaign, when they spread lies about you, use it as a means to reach out to people, because people will automatically recognize you. Use it as a means to tell people the truth of what occurred. Okay, because always remember, there is that side of the story, your side of the story, and the truth. So don't allow them to color you, okay, in a way that is not true. You use the slander campaign as a means of letting people know what rightfully occurred. Okay, and that, believe it or not, people will share your side of the story. Okay, so you do that. Okay, and most importantly, we are asking, not praying, but asking for finances, okay? Because in this world, you cannot do anything without finances. So we are asking for finances, and be specific as to what you want. Okay, financially. Don't just say, I need my finances taken care of. Make sure you know how much you need to get what you need to get done. And that is the number you put out there. Okay, why do I say that? This world is mathematically encoded. Okay, nothing exists in the multiverses, the universes of universes. Nothing exists in this universe without numbers. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Whether the plants are green, whether the sky is blue, the sun is a fiery red orange, the moon a with light, nothing in this universe is done without 0 to 9. Nothing. Okay, or the point before 0 and then up to 9. So it's important when you're asking for things like finances that you have a number that you want to put out there. What is your number? What is the number that you want? And don't broadcast the number everywhere, but have an idea of the number of what you want. Okay, so that way you don't get short-sighted, or you don't get something less than what you need. You get precisely what you need, or an overabundance. Okay, so when you ask financially, when you ask the universe financially, when you put it out there that you need it, be specific in the numbers you want. Okay, so, and then lastly, we're asking for changes again in timeline. If you find yourself in a negative timeline, how do you identify when you're in a negative timeline? First of all, one of the things that's important for a person to do is at a very early age is you have to be able to see your future. I'm telling you. Because if you don't see your future, I am telling you, there are people around you who can see. And not everyone around you who can see into your future wants it to come to pass. So it's important that you are able to see your future. So if you find yourself today, one of the ways in knowing if you're in the correct timeline is that you have a visualization of where you are supposed to be in the future. And if you don't find yourself there at a specific time in your life, you can know with certainty line was intercepted. Okay, so that's very important for you to know. Visualize your future. If you haven't done it in the past, do it now. Okay, and some people have psychic abilities, some people don't. If you don't have psychic abilities to see a future, what you do is you write out what you want. Write it down. There's power there is power in the written word. Okay, why is that so? Everything in the universe is encoded. It's encoded numerically, and it's encoded linguistically into the universe. In the East, they call it the Akashic Records. In Christianity, which is still an Eastern religion, but in Christianity, it's called the Book of Life, okay? Where everything that's ever taken place in the universe is written down. These are laws, okay? So it's important that you see your future, okay? You see your future. Not only do you see your future, you have to see what in your future. Who are the people around you in your future? That's very important, okay? Not everyone is supposed to be in your future, okay? Not everyone is supposed to be where you are in your future. So it's important that you know who's around you in your future, okay? So you see your future. So, and that's one of the first ways to know if your timeline was tampered with, okay? The second thing to know if your timeline was tampered with is you have to look at positive versus negative, okay? You have to weigh this. Is there more positive than negative? And are you still moving towards that vision and that goal? Then you know you're probably still in your timeline. If it's completely negative and you're stagnant and you're not moving towards that goal of what you saw in the future, then more than likely you're in a negative timeline. Okay, so it's important that you look at the positive versus the negative, weigh it. Is it more positive? Is it more negative? And the direction of the positive or the negative, are you moving towards that vision of what you saw yourself to be in the future? If you're not moving towards that vision in the future, your timeline has been tampered with. Okay, so it's important to know your timeline. Okay, it is important to know your timeline. Okay, so one of the things we're asking for is a change of timeline from a negative timeline that is not a positive timeline that will fulfill who we are supposed to be. Okay, that's very important. Okay, so I hope this short video, this is supposed to be a short video, I hope this short video assisted you today in understanding some spiritual things that are taking place. Okay, and I also pray for your protection. I also ask and request for protection for you in all things, and that the right people would be around you, and that good things will come out of it. Okay, so guys, I have a lot of stuff I have to do, so I have to get going. Have a great afternoon. All the best to you. Okay.